Greetings, FINR2205 Personal Finance Management students. Welcome to this 2014 spring semester. I welcome you to the class. My name is Dr. Joan McRory. You can call me Dr. Joan. I'm going to be your instructor for this class. This is a really great class, and I think you're going to enjoy it. If you have your textbook already, hopefully you do, and you've been looking through it, you'll see that each chapter has some real-world practical applications that, depending on your stage in life, that you can apply immediately. If you're not yet in part of your life where you can plan for retirement, it gets you thinking about things like that, explains different insurances, budgeting, everything. This is a really great class in all seriousness. And probably the #1 remark that I get at the end of the semester is that students say, wow, this is just really meaningful and applicable. Okay, and I like it too. As I read through the book with you each semester, I always find something new in the book. I say, oh, I didn't really pay attention to that the first time I read it. So I think that you'll find the book to be a very good resource. So, as we get ready to begin, and class has, started a couple days ago, and I emailed you the syllabus and the schedule. I'm going to email it to you again in our pause email, and of course, you have access to it through the content area of our course. In fact, I'm going to click on that now. What do you think about this new pause interface? I've gotten an email from 1 or 2 people that say, I don't know about this. Well, let me tell you something as we start into this. As you look through some of the documents, like how this course works or the assessment tools, even the communication tools, you may find that some of the graphics don't match our current system. This interface is brand new as of this spring 2014 semester, and the faculty, even though we got to train on it and see it in other courses, we had access to this interface about 1 day, in fact exactly 1 day before the semester began. So I've kind of been working rapidly to try to prepare some resources and tools for you. One of those resources, so first of all, a little bit of a cautionary note, some of the images you see in these early links will not be correct. But the resource that I have prepared for you is my faculty homepage, and I've prepared, I'm still in progress on part of it, 2 different video series. The first video series is called Pause for 1 minute. Everybody has 1 minute, folks. Everybody has 1 minute, right? Where if I say to you, you need to read the content area. And if you're saying, I don't know what she's talking about, there is a 1 minute overview on the content area, and it's demonstrative. In other words, I'm going to be clicking as I show you. Now, how can I talk about all that in 1 minute? Because what I'm not talking about are best practices. What I am talking about is how to. How do I read my pause email? How do I send a pause email? How do I submit to the Dropbox? How do I take a pause quiz? These are 1 minute videos. But the next series that I'm working on, and I have a few videos here, and I'm going to keep adding to it over the next, probably I'll be done in about a week, are longer videos, 5 minutes, okay, not too long, that include practical tips for success. You see, I even say tips and tricks for success video series because I'm going to talk to you about how you should use this and best practices, okay, especially where it relates to our class and to me. So I will send you the web address to this page, and I hope that it's helpful. So hopefully you're in pause and you've been clicking on things and exploring and trying to understand the new interface. And as you have done that, surely you have come across the class syllabus. And also I've sent you, and from the syllabus there's a link to the schedule. You should have this schedule. I'm going to send those things again, okay? But you would have these. Now, let's talk about those. I'm going to go ahead and pull those up. What should we start with? How about the syllabus? Well, this is an online course. Let's start with that. This is completely online, this class, and that means, in our particular case, that you never have to come into the classroom. You're going to have assignments, and everything that you're going to do is going to be online. Okay, so you can read through this. I'm not going to read the syllabus to you, but you certainly have it here, and you can read it. Now, when you signed up for the class, you know, maybe it was just an elective and you needed something that would fit your schedule. So what are we going to talk about? Well, there's the description right there. Things that typically affect consumers, individual decision making, evaluating needs, wants, resources, things like that. Within the class, we're going to talk about a lot of things. We have many chapters to cover. But there are 5 learning objectives that we're going to, make sure that we cover. And at the end of the semester, you're going to have a quiz called the Student Learning Objective. We simply say the Student Learning Objective, SLO, quiz. I will tell you more about it as we get to the end of this semester, and I'll tell you how to prepare for it, but it's going to cover these 5 objectives. Alrighty? Let's keep moving on. All right, no prerequisites, no co-requisites, a little information about some of the hardware. It's an online course. You're going to need a computer. You're going to need reliable connection to the internet. But let's get down here to the part of the syllabus that I know you're most interested in. One is this part that says methods of evaluation. In other words, how are you going to be graded? How do you earn points in the class? Well, first of all, you're going to have a chapter quiz. These quizzes are in our pause system. Okay, let's look at what that means, because I am such a nice guy in these quizzes. I mean, look at this. For each quiz, you have unlimited attempts. Unlimited. Take them as many times as you want. And you're saying, yeah, wait a minute. Listen, no penalty for repeating those quizzes. Here's how I look at it. Every time you attempt a quiz, you're going to be sitting there with your book. You're going to be looking up answers. You're going to be trying to remember what the correct answer is. And guess what? The questions are randomized. The answers are randomized. So you can't just memorize that 1 is A, 2 is B, because next time 2 is going to be a different question. When you find that question again, it's not going to be B anymore. Who knows where the answer is going to be placed? So you're going to be studying. And that is valuable, right? Spend time repeating the quizzes. Well, I'm such a nice guy that also, in addition to that, as you take your chapter quizzes, and you can see all the chapters we're going to cover, I'm going to drop your lowest grade. Unlimited attempts, drop your lowest grade. There must be a catch. Well, maybe there is. Maybe there is. The catch is that you must earn an 80% or above if you want the grade to count at all. Now let's think about this. I've got an example here. If you attempt a chapter quiz and the first time you take it, oh, you fail it, you make a 40%, ooh, awful, right? So you say, goodness, I got to take it again. Next time you take it, you make a 50%. Well, a little better, but still not that great, right? The next time you take it, you make 100%. That's great, but you know what I'm afraid you're going to do? I'm afraid you're going to stop studying. And I don't want that to happen. So let's say you bravely jump out there, sorry about that, and you this time make a 70%. Well, in my opinion, that should not count against you because you were studying. So when you make that 100%, you've got that and it is in the bank. And that is the grade that I'm going to record. Only your highest grade. I'm going to drop of all your quizzes, I'm going to drop your lowest grade. I only record for each and every quiz the absolute highest grade that you make. So all I'm asking you is to make a minimum score of 80% or above. In other words, you cannot quit on yourself unless you make at least a B or better. Now, once you make a B, if you stop taking the quiz at an 82, then you've got an 82. If you stop when you make a 97, then you've got a 97. Okay, so you decide what your grade is going to be, but there is a minimum score of 80%. You've got to score above that, okay? I give you every opportunity for success. and I think you can do it. And if I've given you all that, then you simply have to put in the time. And that's where students make mistakes. So let's talk about, I'm going to keep going through the syllabus, but let's pause for a moment. Pause, get it? To talk about the schedule, okay? Another document that I give you is kind of a planning document. You can read the notes here at the top. Again, I'm not going to read it to you. I wrote it. I certainly know what it says. You're trying to earn the grade in the class. You should know what it says also. So read it carefully. In the schedule, I tell you what you need to do. I tell you what you need to be reading. I also remind you that you have these due dates up here on the side, right? Now, I put a little note on here to always check pause where you're going to be taking these quizzes and doing this work for the due dates, because if something changes, that's where you're going to see it, is in the pause system. But this is going to help you to plan on a week-by-week basis, because what tends to happen in an online course is out of sight, out of mind, right? You say, I can't do that right now, I'll do it later. And then later comes and you're tired, you've got other pressing things to do, and you put your attention on those. So what I'm asking you to do is, and I just happen to pick Tuesday. Now, if Monday is a better day for you, or Friday or Saturday, then you write over the top of that if you want, okay? But have meetings with yourself, routine meetings. Maybe in your online class, maybe you pretend to meet every Tuesday and Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever works for your schedule. I encourage you to do work in our class every single day. If it's 30 minutes, what do you have to lose? You take a quiz, maybe you don't do so well this time. You only have to get that score up there to the top one time. So keep repeating the work. Every day you need to be working on this. Now, we have other things besides quizzes. But speaking of quizzes, you'll notice that there is a very important attendance quiz. How do you take roll in an online class? And the roll, the attendance, is very important. Have to report that to the college, right? They want to know if you're attending. Can affect financial aid, can affect your enrollment in the class. You might get purged, right, from the class. Well, the way that I do it is I ask you to go in and take what I call the attendance quiz. You earn 1 point for taking it. May not sound like very much, but remember, this is about reporting your attendance to the college. If you don't go into that attendance quiz, you will probably be marked as not attending. That's going to, that just causes a waterfall of effects, and it could potentially get you knocked out of the class. You don't want that to happen, okay? So stay in the class, take that attendance quiz. One more note on the schedule. You know, here we are in week 1, right? Let me kind of scroll on down. Gosh, week 5, week 6. It's so cold today. Today's Tuesday, January 21st, and it's so cold. But by week 7, we're going to be looking at spring break. You're going to be in flip-flops, right? You're going to be trying to get out into the sunshine. And then here we are, week 10, week 11. There goes April Fool's Day. And so here we are in the 13th, and oh my goodness, it's time for those tests that pile up at the end. This is in essence 15 weeks that we're going to be together. So it's a long time between today and the rest of the semester. And I suspect that most of you are taking 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 classes. That's a lot of work. On top of that, you may have family responsibilities, work responsibilities, right? Those things have to be taken care of. So how do you do it all? With a calendar with organized time. You can go by student services, and you can even get this online. Search for the student handbook. In that student handbook is a calendar. The calendar includes the campus holidays. We just celebrated Martin Luther King holiday, and the campus was closed. That means the library is going to be closed. The computers, you won't be able to access those. So you need to plan your time. I would also write on that calendar if you have a birthday party, a soccer game, a paper due in another class. Get all that stuff onto your calendar, because folks, here's what you need to know. It's your key to success with this class. You know, we're in a finance class, and I suspect that most everybody knows that the bill collector doesn't like to get his money late, does he? He always tacks on that little interest and penalty. Well, you know, that's just because he wants the money. In my class, I don't take late work. So in order to avoid being late, you might have to finish early. Let's think about the quizzes. Now, we have discussion questions and we have quizzes. But if you have unlimited attempts on a quiz that is due February the 4th, when are you going to start working on that? If you start working on it February 4th, you probably don't have unlimited attempts because you don't have time to do unlimited attempts. You probably have time for one attempt, and I hope you do well. Well, okay, so maybe instead of starting it on Tuesday, maybe you could start it Monday and do one attempt Monday or even 2 or 3 attempts. Well, it's better than nothing, but still you've got a lot of other classwork and you might have to work on Monday. So now what are you going to do? Maybe you should start it on Sunday. But wasn't there a birthday party you were supposed to go on Sunday? Maybe you have church and maybe you have extra responsibilities in your church on Sunday, so you're not going to have time then. Maybe you should have started Saturday. Okay, do you see how you're having to back up in order to make time to repeat that quiz? That's what I encourage you to do. If it's 30 minutes a day, if it's an hour a day, you also have to do other assignments in this class. You're going to have to read the chapter. See that? How about these discussion questions? What is the question? How do I answer it? We're going to talk about that. This schedule lets you look ahead at what's coming so that you can begin work ahead. Don't wait until the last minute, folks. I see a lot of students who enjoy the class. They're getting a lot out of it, but the slippery slope begins because in this online environment, if you're not coming into this system every day, you're going to have problems. So speaking of that, let me go back to the syllabus. Let me jump back up here to the top. Where it says instructor email, I'm going to ask you to communicate with me on class-related discussions using the PAUSE email system. This is a different email than your Southwest email account. It is definitely not your Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, or any of those accounts. Okay, here's why. I realize that we as a college communicate with you through your Southwest email on everything from basketball games to important financial aid information to club activities, all kinds of things. And it's all important, and I understand that. You know, even scholarship applications reply sometimes to that email address. It's all important, and I understand that. But when you go into the PAUSE email system, I'm communicating to you, and I want you to communicate with me about class-related things only. And that's what the PAUSE email is for. Now, you may be saying to yourself, but I don't know how to use PAUSE email. It's all new, this crazy system, I don't understand it. But what resources do you have? Well, you have, first of all, things like the Academic Support Center, the walk-up technical support desk in the library, but you also have these videos that I have prepared for you. You can play them repeatedly, you can pause, rewind, right? If you're getting the idea that this may take a little time, that's absolutely true, right? This is not an online class is not a do-nothing class. An online class actually requires extra effort on your part, so be ready for that, all right? Okay, let's go back to the syllabus here, and one more note. In my syllabus, I will occasionally reference videos, and I'll give you a web address to go to. Don't use that one. Instead, use the web address. Oops, I'm so sorry. You don't want to see that. Instead, use the web address that I'm going to send you in the email to this page. Remember, I only had access to this new interface one day before the class started, and so not everything is fully up to date. Okay, working on that as fast as I can. Alrighty, so we're looking at the syllabus. Let me go back to the syllabus. And, oh, goodness, textbook. What textbook do you need? Well, it's in the syllabus. When we talk about the textbook, let me say one other thing. The textbook is important to the class. How are you going to answer the quiz questions and make academically strong postings to the discussion board? I'm going to talk more about that. You can't do that without the textbook. Now, you may be saying to me right now, but I don't have money for that textbook. And if you're enrolled in 4 and 5 classes, you know, I understand you can spend $1,000 on textbook, and I do understand it's expensive. So if you go to the library and go up to the reference desk, now here's what that means, reference desk. You tell the reference, do not say to the reference desk, I need a book, okay, because they're going to think you're looking for the bookstore. Instead, you need to give them this course name, Finance 2205 Personal Finance. You can give them my name, and you say, I need to check out the book that is on reference. Now, on reference means it cannot leave the library. It has to stay in the library. So you might take the book, walk over to one of the computers, work on the quiz while you're using the book. Okay? Now, you may be saying to yourself, but that's not good enough because I need to study. You know, I can not just for an hour, I need to study. Okay, so this is what you do. You take notes based on the book. You write down key points, maybe key terms. You know, search engines like Google and Bing are so powerful nowadays, and there's so many resources out there. There's a website, for example, called businessdictionary.com. There's also a number of financial sites. Investopedia is one where you can, and there's many, okay, where you can take some of the words that we're going to be studying in our book and you can look those up. So if you make notes from the book, and you know, you can even write down our textbook definition. I encourage that. But there are many resources to you so you can study outside of the book, but you will need the book. I strongly encourage you to get the book. Okay? Okay, so we've talked about that. We've talked about the quizzes. Let me go on down. We were talking about methods of evaluation. And this just in, breaking news. I have down here a 10-point pause orientation quiz. I need to email all my classes about this because since the system has changed and been upgraded, this quiz is no longer available to you. So I will email you and let you know how I'm going to revise that in the syllabus, okay? So be patient with me, and it's not going to hurt you. Whatever I do, it's not going to you know, hurt you in some way. So I'll get back to you on that. Okay? All right. Next way that you are going to earn your points in this class is with the pause discussions. I call these writing assignments pause discussions. For each unit, each chapter that we cover, you're going to be asked to post into the discussion board. Okay? Now, a couple of notes here. I want you to read this carefully. Don't email me those postings. I will not take them that way. You will get a 0 if you email it to me. Now, oftentimes, this is what students do. I couldn't figure that out, so here it is, an email. Not good enough. You got to figure it out. How do you figure it out? Videos. I have the videos for you. Academic Support Center, Walk-Up Technical Help Desk. You've got to post it into the discussion board. But more likely than not, if you are unable to post in that discussion board, it's because it's after the due date. So once again, let me ask the question. Do we accept late work in this class? No. Early, not late. Okay, early. So plan that out because I'm not going to take that. And I don't want you to lose those points. It breaks my heart when I have to say to you, I'm not going to take it. I'll tell you this, I don't even read it because I don't want to feel that sympathy for you, especially if it's a really good post. You've got to post it out there before the due date. All right, now, let's talk about these postings. And I'll know immediately who did and did not watch the video based on this particular part of it. Okay. All of us have opinions. You had an opinion before you ever enrolled in college. If you have small children in your house, you ask them, they will have an opinion. They have never heard of certificates of deposit, CDs, but they'll have an opinion on it. The younger they are, they'll have an opinion. You ask a 2-year-old, should I invest in a certificate of deposit? No. Has an opinion, right? Is it an educated opinion? No, right? So, the difference in an academic setting is that you have to support your opinions from the literature. That's a key phrase in academia, from the literature. To tell you the truth, this is a job skill also. I know that many of you are working. And I suspect that if you walked into your boss and said, I want to do it this way because I said so, they probably would go, yeah, right, okay. And they would do whatever they wanted to do, right? They wouldn't necessarily go on that because everybody has opinions. Some opinions are right and some opinions are wrong, right? But the literature is history. And have you ever heard the phrase that those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it? Well, it's very true. And a lot of the things that we're going to talk about in this class have been done before. So the why, I'm going to overload you with that adages right now. So a wise man doesn't learn by making the mistake himself and saying, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. The wise person learns by seeing somebody else make the mistake and then saying, I'm not going to do that. Well, who can you watch? You can watch the people in your textbook, the authors of your textbook. They're going to tell you, here is a common mistake. This is what this means. Don't do that and do this. This way is successful. This way is not successful. So when I ask you a question in the discussion board, you are going to first of all have an opinion. I think we should buy car insurance. Why? From the literature, and the literature is your textbook. Now, you're going to read an entire chapter, and the chapter is going to say this is good sometimes and that is good sometimes. So it is not enough just to say, well, based on the textbook. I need a page number. From page 23, page 42, 57, 92, whatever page you read something, you read a sentence, you read a paragraph, and you said, that's why I believe the way that I do. Now, you might have had that belief before you read the book, but now you are stronger in that belief because you have supporting evidence. Imagine going to your boss and saying, I think we should do this. And the reason that I think we should do this is because I have read this case study. I know about other businesses and I have studied their work and they have done this and they have been successful. You know what else? I know we should not do it this other way because I read about that too, and that always leads to failure. Based on this history and based on this study, I know this is wrong and this is right. That's what I'm looking for in your post. Now let me be clear. A posting is not a 20-page term paper. It can be and oftentimes is brief, but answers like yes, no, I don't know, me too, those are not going to cut it, and you will earn a 0 for those types of postings. You need to tell me your opinion, your choice. Let me give you the big one. In the discussion questions, I will often present you with an either or choice. If you answer both, your grade is a big old goose egg. It's a 0 because I would love to have it all. I would love to have a house in Maine and drive a Porsche, and I would have money for all in my ideal world. But the whole thing about personal finance is we don't have money for all. We have limited financial resources and we have to make choices. So as I present questions to you and say choose one and support why you chose this over that, first of all, both could be right answers. There's not one right choice. But the wrong choice is to try to say that you would do both when you have been told you must pick one. Okay, so those are, I'm going to tell you, I will know immediately if you watch this video or not based on your answers to the discussion posting. They've got to be well supported and you have to make your choice clear. So please, folks, read these instructions that I'm giving you because I take time to write those with very clear and concise explanation, and then I grade based on that. Okay, so if you follow the instructions, you know, your grade will reflect that. One or two other more notes while we're talking about writing, and we're going to talk about communicating and writing. You are a business professional. You are pursuing a degree or a technical certificate to obtain a new job, a promotion, a different or better job, or to enhance your skills. That means that when you end your degree, you are different, you are changed, you are communicating at a level that demonstrates, that represents you, that precedes you to those that you communicate with. And that starts not the day you get your degree. It starts now. So we're always going to communicate to each other in a business professional manner. What does that mean? Maybe it means different things to different people. Okay. It means that we call each other by name. You can call me Dr. Joan. I will call you by your name. Okay? Isn't that better? I mean, just think about this for a minute. What if I come up to you and I say this? Hey, hey. Maybe I don't even say that. Maybe I just walk up and go, give me that. That is not respectful communication. So quite frequently, way too frequently, I get emails from students, and they tend to say this: I can't do quiz. Wow. Now, is that business professional writing? If that's how you communicate in your business world, and your supervisors and superiors have said to you that that's okay, well, then I guess that's okay. But would you give that person a promotion, a pay raise, a job with greater responsibilities and therefore more pay? I don't know that I could in good conscience. I think that I would prefer to be addressed by name. Also, I kind of wonder as I respond to this person, what is their name? Right? I guess they want me to go look it up, because you certainly wouldn't want me to respond like this. Okay. That's what I'm saying. That means okay. Right? Were you confused? I mean, were you more confused than I am when I look at this? See, here's what I want to know. What class are you in? What quiz are you attempting? Are you my student? Maybe you're emailing, the wrong professor. That happens all the time. So I think you would be shocked if you got that email from me. And the reason that you would be shocked is because this is not the way that you expect a business professional to communicate, right? So it's shocking. I would be shocked if somebody showed me and said, oh, my professor said, I would be shocked by that. Okay, so we're going to communicate with each other using our business professional skills, and we'll sharpen them. Tell you one other benefit, because I'm going to show you this in the syllabus. The best way to communicate with me, you're an online student, is to use pause email. If you pick up the phone and call, then I will try to get back to you at my next office hours. Now, I'm not going to call you when I'm at home, so I'm going to wait until I come in for my office hours. And also, if you email me through pause on, let's say, a Friday, or let's say Saturday, oh, I have this terrible habit. I'll tell you what it is. I leave my computer on, and I leave my pause email open. So as I'm cleaning my house, and I'm doing laundry, and washing dishes and all that, I look at my computer, and I say, an email just came in. And I go over, and on a Saturday, for example, I'll respond to it. Now, if you call and leave me a voicemail, I will try to get back to you on Monday. But I have classes where I'm teaching, and I cannot call you then. And then I have office hours, and oftentimes students follow me to my office to ask questions or discuss things, advising, mentoring, all these different things. And so when my office hours are done, I'm going to go home just like you go home after your job. And now it's going to take longer, and you could have had your answer way back. Now let's put this in context, which is I sleep. I do have a life, just like you. I try to have a life anyway, right? I know you try to have a life as a student. So the emails are not instantaneous. If you email me at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not sitting there waiting to respond, okay? But I will get back to you pretty quick. I need you to check your email, to go into pause, to go into our class at least once every day. I try not to have too many important announcements or changes, but if I do, I want to make sure that within a 24-hour time period that you've checked your email and that you're up to date with it. Okay? So you're an online student. I don't think that's asking too much. Now, let's talk about emails a little bit. Well, I'm going to continue with the syllabus, and then we'll come back. And I know this is a long email, but folks, if we were, or video, if we were in the classroom, we'd spend probably, an hour, 90 minutes together. So bear with me on this first one. I do apologize for its length. So with the discussion questions, be sure that you reference your textbook, talk about the page, the paragraph that influenced you, give me a choice, an opinion, and then support it with your textbook reading. Use proper capitalization. Use proper spelling and punctuation, right? These things count. Okay, so you're going to read that about the discussion board postings. I mentioned the Student Learning Objective Quiz, SLO, and so that's going to be 45 points. Again, more information about that as we continue on. Do we have tests in this class? Absolutely, we have tests in this class. How many do we have? We have 3. We have one that covers chapters 1 through 6, one that covers 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 18. And then we have a comprehensive final. But there's good news. You get a drop grade here as well. So I'm going to drop your lowest test score. Now I'm going to tell you, don't tell anybody, I'm telling you the secret to success. This would be my plan. If I had an instructor that said, wait a minute, Exam 1, Exam 2, and the comprehensive final are all weighted equally. They're each 100 points. Then this is what I would do. I would do really, really well on Exam 1. It's only on these first 6 chapters. They're going to be fresh on my mind, so I'm going to do well on that. Oh, the questions for the exam come from those quizzes that you can repeat unlimited times. Every time you repeat the quiz, you look at more questions, more randomized questions. You might see all the questions that are going to be on the test if you repeat the quizzes enough. I would do well on Exam 2. These chapters are going to be fresh in your mind, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 18. I would do really well on those. Then when it came time for the comprehensive final, well, she's going to drop a grade. So, maybe I take it and I bomb it. Oh well, it was going to drop anyway. Maybe I take it and I don't have any pressure on me, and so I do really, really well. Well, maybe she'll drop that B, and so I'll have all A's, right? So I would plan to do well on the first 2 tests. One very, very important note, there are no makeup exams. I'll talk to you more about the exams as we get closer, but you will have 1 attempt at an exam, not unlimited, 1. When you take that exam, I'm going to have it open for a window, and once you begin, like maybe 3 days, once you begin the test, a timer will start and you'll have to finish it within that time period, okay? So they are very serious and there are no makeups. If you miss the test within that window and you totally forget, I guess that's the drop grade. What if you do that twice? Ooh, see you next semester. Okay? Because we've got to, part of taking a test is showing the responsibility. It's kind of like we've practiced with the quizzes, and now show me that you can do it, show me that you're that business professional, and I know that you are. You just have to commit to doing it. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for on the test. We'll talk more about that later. Some opportunities for extra credit, I will talk more about those, but there's information there that you can read. Hang on to your syllabus, folks, because throughout the semester, you're going to forget some of this stuff. And you'll have your syllabus and you can come back to it. You say, well, how many points are there throughout a semester? There will be 475 points available. So you should read that. How do I calculate my grade? To calculate your grade, first determine the points earned by simply adding up all the points you have earned, and they're going to be shown to you in pause. So it's all right here. What is an A? Well, 90 to 100, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, so you've got it there. Now, as I scroll down through here and it talks about major assignments and your participation, how do you participate? I've got an attendance quiz, right? I do not accept late assignments, so just really make note of that. Guidelines for emailing, those little requirements like proper capitalization and spelling and, discussion guidelines, it's all in here. So you can go through and read this syllabus, and I know that you can come up to speed. These are the operating instructions for the semester. You say, I don't know what to do. I don't understand. What am I supposed to do in this class? Start by reading that syllabus, but you cannot end there. The next thing that you need to do, let me see if there's anything else there. Nope. Next thing that you need to do is you need to log into the pause system and get working on it. Start with the content, okay, and go through there. In this class, we will be working with discussion boards. I've talked about quizzes a little bit, but let's look at the discussion boards, okay? Now, I came into this discussion board by clicking on communication because discussions are one way to communicate. But we also are going to earn grades, and that's what assessments are about. So there's actually 2 different ways. You're going to go to the exact same thing, discussions, and the screen just updated, but it's at the exact same place, discussions. Okay, so come on down into the, there's class introduction. Great. Some of you, look at this, 7 people have already posted out there. That's fantastic. And here's your first discussion board question. Why do you think Americans seem to have more money problems than people in other countries? Now, you're going to have an opinion, but what does the textbook say? And this brings me to an important new feature, all new, in our course management pause system. Notice that I cannot see any responses. Does that mean that nobody else has posted yet? No, it does not. It says you must post your response before the responses of others will be visible to you. So make a statement of your opinion, support your opinion with information from the readings. Don't forget that page number. Provide a page number reference after the reading. Add examples or other information that support your opinion. Okay, so you can go through and look at all the questions, and once you post, then you'll be able to see what other people thought. Folks, always be respectful, okay, in your posting. When you post, everybody can see it, and so you want to speak kindly. Just because somebody disagrees with you, there's no need to be rude to them. They may be right, they may be wrong, okay? Sometimes there's just different life situations, and the choice is correct depending on the life situation. So we need to be respectful. In this world of academics, that is an important thing. We have the right, and it's a beautiful thing that we're able to disagree with each other and discuss with each other, but always with kind words, okay? Okay, important in the business environment too, isn't it? Okay, so you're going to go through, I'm going to have videos. I have a short video already on how to do post to the discussion. Thought I did. Oh, I remember doing it. I must not have put a link to it up here, so I'll have to add that. And I will have a more detailed link on that as well with some best practices, okay? Now, I also mentioned quizzes. Well, you know, let's just go right back here to assessment, go to quizzes, and again, the pause orientation quiz, I'm going to have to email you about some changes on that. Notice your due dates are all listed here. Mind those due dates, and the very first thing you need to do is this attendance quiz. So it's due tonight, folks. It's due tonight. So I'm clicking on that. I'm going to scroll down to make sure I read everything. I see I stopped this quiz as I was probably making one of my videos. So you click to go into the quiz. The attendance quiz has one and only one question. It says, are you attending? You click, yes, I'm here. As you go through the quizzes, always save your responses. Okay. Oh, has been exceeded. Okay, submit my quiz. So I'm going to go to submit quiz. I'm going to submit it. This gives you a little practice with the quizzing tool, so you can see that. And you're going to read all of these, but submit, submit, submit. Okay, so you're doing that. Look at that. I get to review my answer. I'm going to click on close, and I'll get to review my attempt. Yeah, whoops, I submitted that late because I ran over the time, okay? So, like I said, it's just one question quiz, and I know you can do it. And see how it shows me that I did my one attempt. So you can go in there and do it again, practice with the quizzing tool. But remember, there's no harm in doing these other quizzes. So, you know, feel free to start studying and doing those random questions from a large pool. So you'll see different questions and different answer arrangements and answers each time. Okay, so that was the quizzes, and we talked about the discussion boards, right? So get started on that. You have important things to do. I'm going to come back to the content page because remember, you need to be checking in every day. You need to be working a little bit every day. And as you scroll down, you'll see the objectives and extra practice, all kinds of things for each chapter as you go through it. Okay, so we've talked about, what have we not talked about? We talked about the schedule. You have that as a planning document. We've talked about the syllabus, and we went through to the end of that. And so this is now about you getting started and making a strong start. Get in there, do that attendance quiz tonight so that I know you're in the class and participating, and then keep going, keep working on those assignments, okay? And we'll be talking to you again soon. I look forward to a great semester. I really think you're going to enjoy the class. There's just such great and useful information in it. So we'll be talking to you soon, okay? Bye-bye.